Hi, how are you? Okay, I assume that since you clicked on this video, you are in the mood for brownies. What kind of brownies did you make today, Jill? I made cakey brownies. You know, not fudgy brownies, but cakey brownies. The kind that have a nice dark flavor but aren't like super sweet. You know, the kind where you bite into it and then you're like, ooh, I wish I had some soy milk, or I wish I had some almond milk, or whatever. You know, just you want to dunk it in there and it holds. The brownie actually holds up when you dunk the brownie in the milk, and then you're like, you know, you can just like, that's what kind of brownies these are. They're really good. And I wish, to be honest with you, I wish that I could say that I came up with the recipe on my own, but I didn't. This is from The Joy of Baking, Colleen Patrick Goudreau's recipe. So she gets all the credit, but she didn't make a video on how to make it. So I'm showing you what I did to throw these brownies together. So, Alright, you got out your pen and paper? Because we're going to make some brownies. And these are so good. These are so worth it. They don't take very long to bake up. And they're worth it, and they're really good. Oh, I've got a tip for how to cool them down pretty quick, because we were like, when I bake these, my husband was ready for brownies like right then, you know, like he wanted to eat them like right out of the oven, and I said, no, can't do that because they're hot, they won't taste the same. And so I did something to kind of cool them down pretty fast, but I'm not going to tell you what I did until the end. Okay, ready? Yes, I'm ready. Okay, fine. All right, let's go. All right. Let's start out, let me start by pressing on the pictures. Okay, let's start out with 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed and 6 tablespoons of water, okay, in a medium bowl, okay? And we're going to let that set up for a few minutes. We're going to go do something else while that sets and gets all gelatiny. And while you're at it, go ahead and turn on the oven and set it for 350 and let that get hot, and go ahead and lightly oil an 8x8 inch baking pan. Okay, now when you're done with that, you're going to need to cut up 2 small apples. We're going to make some applesauce. Yeah, right, like we always have applesauce on hand, right? I don't, so I have to always make my own. So I took 2 small apples, peeled them, cut them up like this, put them in my Vitamix blender with probably, I don't know, 1/4 cup of water, you know, not a lot, 1/4 cup, maybe a 1/3 cup of water, and then I just ran it through there. And of course, I don't have 2 hands because I'm holding the camera and the thing, but anyways, you whip that up until it looks like applesauce. And then once my flaxseed gets all gelatiny and thick, I added, let's see, did she put this in here? Yeah, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which it looks like I'm using that Madagascar vanilla stuff, but actually I bought some Mexican vanilla, and that stuff's really good. And I just poured it into my Madagascar. I poured it into my, you know, this jar, and so it makes it look like I'm using the fancy stuff, but I'm really not. Okay, anyway, so 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, and then to that, I added, that's my sugar. How much sugar did I put in there? 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. Don't ask me how much stevia that would be, because I don't eat stevia. Just spare me right there. And then, okay, then I added 3/4 cup of the applesauce, which those 2 apples made just a little over 3/4 cup of applesauce, so it's perfect. And you know, you don't have to have brand new apples either. These were like, the apples I showed you, those were like 2 old apples. They were tired. So when you have tired apples, turn them into applesauce. Okay, and then after that, I started with my other dry ingredients, which was 1 1/3 cups of, I used whole wheat pastry flour, because I have resolved to use keeping that on hand, but you can also use all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour or whatever you want, whatever you got on hand. Okay, and then after that, let's toss in 3/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Then 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, which I think I actually put just 1 teaspoon of baking powder in there. I was like, I'm not going to try to measure 3/4. I just, being lazy. And then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I don't know what that does, but it seems so little for so much. But anyways, okay, so I threw that in there. And then 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Okay, and then I stirred all that together with my spatula and got that all nice and blended. And I just blended until all the dry ingredients were measured. And then I poured that off into my 8x8 oiled glass dish. Okay, and we're not using eggs here, so I don't feel like you have to scrape the bowl clean. I mean, I was raised that way, right? Waste not, want not. Don't leave anything left behind in the bowl. But that was back then with yucky things like eggs in your batter. But when you're eating whole food plant-based, you don't have to worry about salmonella in your batter, so you can lick the bowl and lick the spatula, and so leave a little back. You don't have to, whatever. You don't have to leave it all. Just leave a little bit back there. Okay, once that's all smoothed out, then pop it in the oven for 40 minutes, and it was perfect at 40 minutes. Okay, in my 1973 oven, 40 minutes was perfect. Okay, and then while that's baking, go ahead and take this time to clean your bowl properly. And oh, I tell you what, that stuff is good. I could have just eaten a bowl of the batter. It was, loved it. It was so good. Okay, and then after 40 minutes, it looks like this. So good. Now I let it cool, and like I said, we were in a hurry. Here's the cooling tip. Here it is. Okay, so what I did is, we were wanting to eat the brownies right then and there, but I knew if I cut into those brownies right then, they would get crumbly and it wouldn't hold up that well. So I took the dish and I made space on my freezer shelf, and I popped it into the freezer for about 15-20 minutes. It might have been longer because I was watching TV and I forgot about it. But I popped the brownies into the freezer for, let's say, 20 minutes, and they cooled down quickly, and then I was able to cut into those brownies, and they stayed moist and they stayed together, and it was beautiful. I'm burping, excuse me. It was beautiful. Oh man, they're so good. And now, let's see, I made those 2 days ago, and I think there's 2 brownie slices left, and I cut them up in that 8x8 pan. I cut up like 2x2 squares of brownies, and they were awesome. They were awesome. And I told the kids, hey, we got brownies, and they were like, what kind are they? And I said, the dark chocolate kind, which they don't like. And so the kids didn't touch them. So Charlie and I have been eating these brownies to ourselves, and they're so good. And Charlie went so far, on one side, he actually put Hershey Kisses. Before I stuck them in the freezer, he stuck Hershey Kisses upside down into the cooked brownies, and that was his side. So I thought that was pretty funny. He wanted extra chocolate, but the semi-chocolate chips that I threw in there, they don't actually melt in the batter. So you get these little, when you bite into it, you get these little bites of dark chocolate as you go along. Now you can add walnuts or chopped pecans to this, and Patrick said, or Goudreau said, you could add up to 1 cup. I didn't, because of these things, but I love nuts in my brownies. They're so good. Okay, I gotta go. I'm running out of time. Try these brownies out. They're awesome. If you don't have Goudreau's book, The Joy of Baking, and you want to get into a vegan baking, that is the book to have. It's a great starter, and I'll post a Amazon link to the book in the description below, so y'all can just go right over to Amazon and look it up. And Of course, it'll be my affiliate link because, you know, I need some affiliate love because how else am I going to keep all this stuff going? All right, I'm going to let y'all go. Have fun. Talk to you later. Bye.